Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So I wanted to focus on two things here to get these two things out of the way for the final season trailer. There's two story ideas here, and that is Leah and Daryl. This is confirmation right here. This is Leah. This person here is Leah. It looks exactly like her. The same, like the eyes, literally, that is Leah. I can tell from her eyes right there. And also, I want to talk a little bit more about Alden because there is a scene where a character gets bit. And I do believe that it is Alden because of the knife and things like that. I think that makes sense as to why Negan and Maggie are together. I do think this character gets bit. I don't know if the character is going to survive. This character could just lose an arm, and we'll kind of see there. But there are some other shots that really hint that this is actually Alden, and we see Negan and Maggie helping Alden out, and that's going to be an interesting situation there to see Negan in that situation with Maggie, alone with her, helping her out. With Alden especially. So I want to talk a bit more about that, and I want to get into all that. So before we go any further, obviously, if you're new here, make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this. AMC announced that the Walking Dead episodes are airing a week early, so the way I'm going to be able to handle that is I'm going to be doing my non-spoiler reviews for the episodes when they do air. I'm going to do my spoiler reviews still, but I'm going to be doing my trailer breakdowns probably the week before. I'll do both trailer breakdowns. Like whenever they release stuff, I'm going to do it all. So the way I'm going to handle it, because I've been getting some comments on it, I'm going to be doing just more videos in general, right? Whereas before I wasn't really doing as much, just like whenever they came out, I'm going to be doing almost double the videos, I guess, on it. But yeah, it's going to be hard to navigate some of the spoilery stuff, but some of them will just be spoilers. Like if they release a trailer for episode 2, the night episode 1 airs, I'm going to do a video on it. Like I will, because they actually released it. It's on AMC Plus, but that is their platform. They did release it. It would be the same thing if they released it on Netflix. I would have to cover it, but I will give big spoiler warnings, obviously, in the title and before the video and stuff before we get into that for people who haven't watched episode 1. And then throughout the week, we'll obviously talk about things, and I won't hint at anything. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, that's just the way it's going to go. But for the most part, I think most of it will be the same. But let's actually get into the first thing here. So first of all, thank you to everyone who's been tweeting at me. Like it's so different having Twitter now, because everyone is just like constantly tweeting at me saying like, oh, there's this, you got to check out this and this. And I'm like, okay, I'll look at all this stuff. But obviously, I really appreciate it. I really do. I mentioned this in my Comic-Con trailer breakdown, but we do see this person here. And when you look more closely, you can tell that's Leah. You look at the eyes, that is totally Leah. And like, especially if you go actually look at this shot here of this Reaper with dog, the dog is acting completely fine, right? It's like standing there just completely normal. That's weird. If this was a random person, that dog wouldn't be acting like that. But the dog knows this person. That's why the dog is fine. So the dog is just standing here. Daryl's going to look for this dog. In episode 3, or at the end of episode 2, or maybe in episode 3, that is where Daryl will be reunited with Leah. And so that's going to be interesting. So Daryl finds Leah before he finds Connie. And I'm also wondering what is going to happen when, like how is their relationship going to play out? And that's kind of the whole thing here that I'm really curious about. Like, obviously, this is going to be the whole reveal. Like, this eventually, when Daryl finds out that this is Leah, it's going to be big. And so what I think is actually going to happen and how Daryl gets captured is he's going to go out there trying to find Dog, because Dog's going to be missing. He's going to come across Leah right here with the dog. And again, this is just the Reaper. The dog's going to be right there. Daryl's going to see the dog. And I think this is more of, I think Dog and Leah are like bait because they know Daryl's coming. And so I think Daryl's going to get captured here, brought to the Reaper's base. And then this is where we see the Reapers here. We see Leah. She's going to interrogate him. And that's where I'm like, is this where Leah, like, is she evil now? Like, what is going to happen to her? And so I'm really curious about that. We know that Leah does have some type of military backstory, I believe. There was something mentioned about her backstory. I can't remember exactly what it was at this moment, but there was something like that. And Angela Kang today said during the panel that the Reapers were skilled like this before the apocalypse. Like, they are killers. They are just trained killers. The apocalypse just made them excel. And so I think that Leah being that makes a lot of sense. Is Leah going to be the villain? I really do wonder. I mean, how is the whole thing with Leah and Daryl going to go? I don't think Leah's going to kill Daryl. I just don't see it happening. But she might be really angry and pissed off at Daryl for what Daryl did. So they haven't seen each other in a while. This is really insane. I honestly really can't wait for this moment. I know that it is Leah, though. Like, just seeing the photos, I'm like, this is totally Leah. And I have a feeling that when they made the trailer, they kind of knew that people were going to read into it. but like, especially when you look at the photos, you're like, there's no way it's not Leah, right? Like, you look at her eyes, I'm like, that's literally Leah's eyes right there. You can tell just based off the eye color alone. Like, right? Like, you know, so I'm really excited to see the story actually play out. I was wondering if Leah was going to be a Reaper. I know I did some theory videos and I've talked about that in my, like, just, I guess, with the 6 bonus episodes back then, but to actually see this play out this way, that's really exciting. I can't wait to see Daryl's reaction to Leah. It's cool that Leah is returning in the first part of season 10. Is she going to survive to the second part? I don't know. There's going to be some conflict here with Leah and with Connie. When Daryl finds Connie, is Daryl going to side with Connie? Or not side with her, but pick Connie, you know, as his main love interest, or Leah? I think that's, man, it's going to get really hard for Daryl. I don't know what he's going to go with. Maybe Leah dies, or like, I don't know, because it depends on what Leah does and what the Reapers do to Alexandria. Daryl, I think, will always side with Alexandria over Leah, over himself, really. So it really depends on all of that. So I'm really excited to get into this arc. It's going to be a lot of fun. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is this shot here of Alden. Alden, obviously, in the trailer, he is fighting a bunch of walkers. We do see him fighting walkers, but there's a shot actually where a character gets bit, and it really looks like, I mean, it looks like him. It looks like that was the knife he used when he stabbed that walker, and I'm guessing he gets bit, and this is how I see it going. Alden gets bit. It doesn't mean he's going to die because he got bit on his arm. Remember, they can cut off his arm. I think he gets bit right here, and then Maggie is freaking out. That's the shot of when Negan is holding Maggie back, because remember, Maggie is going to be freaking out about something. So Maggie is freaking out that Alden got bit because it means Alden's going to die, right? Like, that's the first thing coming to her head. So she freaks out, and Negan tries to stop her, like, just wait, or whatever. And then they maybe take out the walkers or whatever happens. And then I think Alden might be really sick. I think they might just cut off his arm, to be honest, and then they'll bandage him up. And I think that's where we're going to get this scene here where they're actually walking into, I mean, it looks like they're going to that mannequin place. So I'm assuming that that's where they're going to go after that situation happens. We have Negan and Maggie helping Alden out, because remember, Negan and Maggie were just there. And this is in the mannequin place. And you do see Alden hurt. And so I think that it depends. His arm could literally have been like cut off at this point already. So like, that's, yeah, we'll have to wait and see there. But Alden's hurt here. He got bit. I think they're going to keep him in this place because we do see other shots later of Maggie going to visit this place. And yeah, I mean, I think Alden's going to get bit. It's kind of funny that they revealed that in the trailer. I wonder if some stuff is misleading, but it seems like it's pretty straightforward. Like this here, Alden gets bit. Negan and Maggie save him. I don't know who's going to cut his arm off. It could be Maggie, honestly, that just cuts his arm off, but we'll have to wait and see there. But they do save his life. And we also have all the stuff with Leah where it just makes the most sense when you look at those photos of that masked person. That looks like Leah, like literally looks like Leah. So it's not too surprising to me, but I definitely am. Yeah, I'm still excited for all this. Honestly, I can't wait for the story to actually play out. And there's a lot more to talk about with the trailer. There's a lot more that I want to get into. There's just, I mean, I'm watching the trailer right now. There's some stuff with Rosita. There's a bunch of different shots of them going to the hilltop. And like, there's a lot of stuff. I'm sorry if I'm like kind of spacing out right now. I'm watching the trailer. There's some stuff with Connie actually I really want to get into. Man, seeing some of those shots of Connie, I'm really interested in that, especially the Reapers in the sense of what we're going to get in episodes 1 and 2, and then after, especially when it comes to that shot of Daryl and the fire going on behind him. Like, what is that about? What's that about? Maggie has that mask. Is that Gamma's mask? I don't think that's Alpha's mask. I think Alpha's mask, her hair was a little bit more blonde. I believe that's Gamma's mask. So that's kind of interesting that she came across that. It's cool to see her wearing the Whisperer mask because she didn't really play a role in the Whisperer arc, but she was such a big part of it in the comics. So it's kind of cool to see that playing out. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.